Hello, my name is Sharon Pruitt. In this video, I will demonstrate how to conduct an independent samples t-test in SPSS to determine whether there is a statistically significant difference in district enrollment between Region 1 and Region 5. I will begin by checking the assumptions of normality and homogeneity of variance, proceed with independent samples t-test, and conclude with an interpretation of the results, including effect size. I am starting in the SPSS data view, which displays the data set used for this analysis. Each row represents a case, and each column represents a variable. The dependent variable for this analysis is enroll, and the grouping variable consists of two independent groups, Region 1 and Regions 5. First, I am checking the assumption of normality by examining histograms for enrollment in each region. You do this by going to Data, select Cases, clicking on Region. We want to make sure we have if condition is satisfied, checked. Go to If, and we are going to click Region, move it over into the Regions box, and our first region we'll check is Region 1. Click Continue. Okay. Then we go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequency, move our enroll into the Variables box, go to Charts, make sure our histogram is checked along with checking Show Normal Curve on histograms. Click Continue. Okay. We see that we have 72 districts in Region 1, and the histogram shows a right skewed distribution with several large enrollment outliers. However, because the sample size is relatively large, the independent samples t-test is robust to violations of normality. We will do the same thing for Region 5, but we must first remove the filter of Region 1. Click on Filter and delete. Then we go to Data, select Cases, click on Region, make sure if condition is satisfied, if, and we'll click on Region and change Region 1 to Region 5. Click Continue. Okay. Go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequency. Make sure Enroll is moved into the Variables box. Go to Chart, Histograms, Show Normal Curve on histograms. It's checked. Continue. Okay. And we see that Region 5 has 23 districts, and the histogram appears approximately bell-shaped with no extreme outliers, suggesting acceptable normality. Overall, although Region 1 shows some skewedness, the assumption of normality is considered adequately met for the purposes of this analysis. Next, we will go and do our independent samples t-test and check the homogeneity of variance or Levene's test. Here again, we must remove the filter, delete. Now we'll go to Analyze, Compare Means and Proportions, Independent Samples t-test. We want to make sure we move our test variable enroll into the test variables box. Then we'll click on region. Click on region and move it into the grouping variable box. Note the two question marks means we need to define the groups. Group 1, we will list 1 beside to represent region 1, and group 2 is region 5. I check options here to make sure our confidence interval percentage was set at 95%. We want to make sure we have a check by homogeneity of variance test and estimate effect sizes. Then click OK, and we get our statistics. Go into the homogeneity of variance, which is Levene's test. We examine the homogeneity of variance assumptions using Levene's test, and Levene's test for equality of variance is statistically significant, with F equals 6.71 and P equals 0.011. Because the p-value is less than 0.05, the assumption of equal variances is not met. Therefore, I will interpret the t-test results using the equal variances not assumed row. And the independent samples t-test indicate that there is a statistically significant difference in district enrollment between Region 1 and Region 5 when equal variances are not assumed. T times the 77.27267 degrees of freedom equals the 2.83, and P is 0.006. So districts in Region 1 have a higher mean enrollment than the districts in Region 5. Note the mean for each region and the standard deviation. Because the p-value is less than 0.05, I reject the null hypothesis. To evaluate the practical significance of this difference, I examined the effect size using Cohen's d. Cohen's d was calculated as 0.39, which represents a small to moderate effect size. This indicates that while the difference in enrollment between the two regions is statistically significant, the magnitude of the difference is modest in practical terms. In summary, although the assumption of equal variances are violated, the independent samples t-test using corrected degrees of freedom revealed a statistically significant difference in enrollment between Regions 1 and Region 5, with a small to moderate effect size. This concludes my video.